All right. Good evening. Wow. You can tell when Dave's in control because everything just shows up right. There you go. Anyway. And welcome to the rewatch series of the Orville. And we are now entering what is known as season 2. Who is excited? I know Adam is.
I'm excited.
See? Look how excited Adam is. Everybody
Yes.
else is like, all right. Well, anyway, we'll break it down, but of course, I can't break it down by myself because let's be honest, no one cares what I think. So we have to get some people that we do care about, which of course is producer extraordinaire, Dave Mater.
I care what you think, Jody, and
Oh,
we're gonna share all of our opinions tonight, But Jaloja, yeah, I really gotta take the piss out of this one.
Great. All right, and of course, the man who sometimes is just silent because he is, and sometimes it's just because his hardware doesn't work.
We call him Silent K.
With a silent K, it is Kevin Millard. Or should we call you
I
Evan
also
Millard?
care very deeply about what I think.
Me too. And of course, last but not least, the man with the smile, the man who is excited to be here.
Excited. I missed you last week, guys.
And he's also more excited in the fact that he doesn't have sound problems like Kevin today. That is, of course, Adam Woodward.
Hello. I'm glad to be back after a week away.
Yes, you were traveling last week.
Yes,
Where were you?
Calgary.
Oh, wasn't that?
It's hard to get on, when the time changes, and I'm in a different time.
Yeah, I completely understand. All right. Anyway, as we said, we are going to be dealing with season 2, episode 1. There we go. We're on the right spot now. All right, which is called
Jaloja.
All right. See, did I get it right that time?
Which is Mocklin for what, Kevin?
Boring. Just boring.
We rehearsed that before the show.
Yes. Right as the credits were rolling.
I really generally like and agree with Kevin on most things, but I disagree on this one.
Okay, well, tell me what you liked about it, Adam.
I first of all, I had watched back to back. I watched last week's episode, which I found a little bit boring. I haven't seen your scores yet, so I'm interested to see that. But this episode was good. There was only one storyline I didn't enjoy. It was the kids, of course.
Yeah.
But it kept me engaged. I think Captain Mercer is a little bit lonely, but also, too many people know his affairs.
Yeah, the whole ship knows what he's up to, and
Yeah.
that seems to be a problem.
But I enjoyed this episode. It was nice to see Jason Alexander make an appearance.
Yes, a couple times actually.
Yeah.
So, who's he?
The bartender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have called that.
You'll be glad to know, Adam, that last week I gave last week's episode a 10.
Of course you did.
Which is odd because these episodes are pretty similar, especially when it comes to the romance side of things.
Yeah,
he's still struggling with being with Kelly.
It's kind of picking up from that storyline that they end with Kelly and Ed for sure. I don't know.
This is boring because it's a big disappointment. Where is our Amok time episode about Jaloja?
Right.
Where is that? We get one little thing at the end. No, we get this thing that I'm excited to see. This building of this character, and all we get is that's a device for them to talk about their feelings on their way there.
You actually we didn't see what they wanted us to see, or what the first. We'll come to that later, but yeah, you're right. I would say that was a disappointment.
Yeah,
but I'm glad you saw the Amok time comparison there.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Even though this episode's Jaloja, and you could kind of say it's about Bortus, it's really, really not.
He's barely in it.
He's barely in it.
Yeah.
Clyden's barely in it. It's not really about Mocklin's. That's really just. It's more about the Kelly and Ed romance or lack thereof, picking up from the last episode.
Yeah, it's about relationships basically.
There's a little bit here with Kalara, right, going on the date with Dan. And there's some stuff here, I guess, with Isaac and Claire getting set up. Where so I think that's probably the better stuff for me in the episode. But this
Really?
doesn't feel like a season premiere to me at all. Like it's kind of weird that this is like what they want to come in with after like almost 12 months off the air.
Yeah, it almost makes me feel, well, this is like a year really, because this episode was this came out what, December of 2018 or 19?
18, I think.
18,
Yeah, but it's like our last episode, the one we just talked about, I think came out a year before that.
But I think they did a good job of saying like a lot of time has passed since that door was closed by Kelly.
But it
Not that
didn't though,
long.
because they said that it was like what, 6 months or something like that.
Well, 6 months.
Not okay. So the previous episode left off in May, and this picks up in July.
Yeah, not
So
even
it's
then.
the same year. It's been a year off the air almost,
Yeah.
but in
It's
terms
only
of
been
how
a couple
time's-
months.
it's maybe
between
2
the
months.
Yeah.
But I mean, all right, okay. When you say it like that, Dave, honestly, yes, it sucked as a season premiere. But when you watch it back to back and not having seen it in a few years,
Yeah, I guess if you're just flowing right through from season 1 to 2, you might not even notice that a new season has started.
No,
here.
you wouldn't
I don't think
You
anybody
absolutely
would.
No,
on a binge, and unless you happen to like really look at like what the number on the episode is, and so maybe from a binge point of view that works well. I just think it's kind of a like I think this is kind of would be a real medium of the road, middle of the road, I guess is what I mean to say, like episode from season 1. And,
yeah, to me, it's almost like season 2 doesn't start until Alara has to leave. Like that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
'cause that's
I
when
get-
major
maybe.
things start changing, right? Like before that, nothing happens really. Like to me, this almost makes me feel like this episode was just supposed to be in season 1, and they just decided to, kind of move it over to season 2, kind of thing.
Alara leaves the show in episode 3, so she's gonna leave in two
more episodes. Yeah, and then
after
the
this.
new girl comes in. But we also get Mercer's romance with what is she, a dark matter or something?
But isn't she actually a krill?
yes,
Right?
Don't
Yeah.
spoil it.
Well, we have all seen it,
Jeez.
right?
I know, but the people who are watching the review show might not have.
we didn't do
No.
spoilers.
I knew something was up because I'm like, this woman isn't hot
The whole
enough.
thing.
This
This woman isn't hot enough.
she would normally be under makeup. She's not like an ugly woman, but she's not like a leading lady love interest type, on her own. Like she was cast because she was wearing makeup originally, and then they're like, what if we got her to play the human, which is a good idea. But I was like, there's something fishy here. She's not a typical Hollywood casting here. I was like, yes, that's why. She's a krill.
All right, Kevin, quickly tell us why it sucks.
I already did. It's boring. It doesn't.
Just it.
Nothing happens. Nothing
it, right?
happens. And
A lot of things happen. A lot of relationships develop.
Yeah, and I'm usually down for that stuff, but we've done this already with Ed and Kelly. Already done
Literally
it.
the
Last
last episode.
last season, last everything. We've done it. We've done it. We've done it since episode fucking 1. We don't need any more. And then you've got the kids. That story, please. That is so boring. So
The kids, to me,
cliche and just boring. Like,
yeah,
who cares
they
about
get a
who's
little
in
too
trouble in school? Who fucking cares?
Well, I agree
the
with
whole
you.
point was to, obviously, it's Isaac and
It's to make
Claire
Isaac
getting together.
and Claire's relationship make sense.
Yeah, she starts admiring him at this point.
He
But we
helps her
coulda had-
parent.
We could have had shipmates fighting for the glory of Geloja, and like if they don't,
that
if
would have been
Bortus's-
great.
If Bortus's champion doesn't win, he explodes because he can't pee or something. Anything.
Why did you write this
Fucking
episode?
anything.
Maybe you should have wrote this episode, because Seth MacFarlane wrote this episode, and it kind of shows. So,
Well, yeah, it's only Seth who wrote this, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
he directed it as
Not his
well.
best work. Not his best
Well,
work.
not his best work. I think
No.
he thinks that this relationship between Ed and Kelly is more interesting than it is. It's not really. Like, get together or don't. But the will they
but
won't
this
they
show
part.
constantly shows us that Mercer's going to get kicked down. Like he just it doesn't matter. Once he gets some happiness, something's going to take that away from him. Whether it be Kelly, whether it be something else, whether it be a certain person who happens to be a Krill that we don't talk about right now because it hasn't happened yet. But you know, these things are all part of that, right?
Like I'm, not to pull this card, but I'm a little younger than you guys, and
A little.
I watched Cheers like reruns, right? But like, I don't really understand. Was the will they won't they of Sam and Diane really that compelling?
No,
no.
You know,
I
God,
hate
it was
that show.
annoying.
yeah, it's annoying, right? You know, and like
Actually, I think
that
that show got better when she left.
It did. It did.
When
The
Kirstie
Kirstie
Alley
Alley
came
years
in?
are way
When
better.
Kirstie Alley came in.
Way better.
Yeah,
years
that's
were
what
way
I
better.
remember too.
Yeah.
And the only other example I can think of this is like I guess the Office and what are those characters?
The Office was pretty solid.
with the was it Pam and
Pam and
Jim.
Pam and
Jim,
Jim.
right?
Yeah.
Right. That was a big like will they won't they that, like the audience was really into. I don't think that you're going to get that here with Ed Mercer and Kelly Grayson.
No.
I don't think that those it's like okay, like I don't think they have that much chemistry honestly as a romantic couple.
I think they just have written Mercer to be the kicking bag, and he has to be the kicking bag. And
I would disagree with the point you made about them not being chemistry. I thought last week they did have chemistry. You know, things.
Wait, with their peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the mouth?
Well, more than just that.
He was
where
really
else you
grossed
could
out
have put
about
it,
that.
Dave? Jesus
If you
Christ!
put it
What kind
anywhere
of
else, you're
chemistry
doing it wrong.
for?
That's how chemistry works, guys. It's sandwich form in the kissing.
All right. Well, this is getting derailed really quickly. So why don't we just go to screenshots? All right.
That was great.
Okay. Yeah. We don't want to get him started on his peanut butter and jelly rant anymore. All right.
There's rants.
What? Dave?
I'm kidding.
Dave does some rants. Yes.
Yeah, this is not rant worthy, but you know, it's
Yeah. So anyway, we start off in the lounge. I guess it is their food thingy, and we see Mercer, and he's just drowning himself with scotch. Apparently, this, by the way, is Jason Alexander from Seinfeld fame. I'm surprised you didn't catch that.
I did not catch it.
Yep,
I did not.
Totally was. Yeah.
He's kind of wearing a big rhino head thing.
Well,
I like
yeah,
it.
but his voice is fairly distinct, though. I find.
I don't. Honestly, he's also on Star Trek Prodigy. He does one of the voices of a Tellarite on that show, and I hardly ever. I have to constantly remind myself that it's him.
Oh, really? Okay.
There as well.
Well, maybe he's losing his charm then.
Well, maybe he's a better actor than I think.
But basically, Mercer's complaining about how essentially, nothing is going on right now, and it's a pretty boring job when nothing's happening. And he's like, we don't have any like krill attacks, we don't have anything else going on, blah blah blah. So then Alara comes up and she basically sits down with him. She gets a drink as well, and they basically come to the conclusion that both of them are exactly the same. They both have terrible luck when it comes to love and all that, which I don't think Mercer really does have terrible luck, because when you think about it, like Charlize Theron, like,
that was the only other
Kelly,
one he's had. Like it's either Kelly or the Charlize Theron character. Oh, and I guess Rob Lowe.
And Rob Lowe too, technically. Yeah.
Yeah. So
like
whatever. Like
I don't know if we need to be bitching about his luck. I guess that's really what it comes down
I
to.
don't like to call him the punching bag. I think is generous for him. Like I'm like he's like the captain of the ship. He has all these opportunities to get with like strange, beautiful alien women or whatever.
He's got a right
or men
that's
for
the
that matter.
Yeah.
The fact that Kelly's saying no because you if you have to order somebody on to their death, I don't want you to have to hesitate as a captain.
Yeah, this is like Picard. I mean, with Commander, what was her name?
With Neela Darla or whatever her name was. The one who played the piano.
Yes.
Oh yes, yeah.
Right. So
Darren, Commander Darren.
Commander Darren.
She couldn't be on the ship. Kelly's still his first officer. He still loves her. Problem not solved. Not solved at all by them not dating.
It doesn't. Yeah, you're right. Like the problem, the conflict's still there. The fact, I think she's thinking like, well, if I move on, I date somebody else, he'll eventually let that go, and then it will be fine. So it's only a temporary problem. But you're probably right. No.
Yeah,
that's not.
So Bortus basically comes up to him and talks about this thing that's going to be happening, which is called Jalaja. Jaloja.
Do you know that Mocklins only urinate once a year? It is my time.
Yeah, it is my time. We call it the release, or something like that. He
The
said.
cleansing.
Yeah,
Yes.
the cleansing. That's it. Yeah. Which it means a lot to them. To us apparently it doesn't, but to them it does. But anyway, so we get a meeting on in the their version of.
Wait, go back. Will Sasso's in this episode too?
Yes.
Yeah, he plays an alien as well.
Okay.
He's the alien that owns the bar that Alara's at.
Oh,
Because they actually have a working
yeah.
bar in this.
They have 2 guest star aliens that are unrecognizable.
Two guest star alien. Well, I think that's kind of the fun of this show is that people who are recognizable can just go in and get.
It could be completely unrecognizable. Like it was Ralph Garman, who I'm familiar with. I had no idea that was him hosting the karaoke.
I didn't know that either until he told me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, they have a meeting basically saying, Bortus has asked us to, detour. We're going to go to his home planet, Mocklus, and we're going to observe this.
Watch him pee.
Yeah, basically, we're going to go watch him pee, essentially, and everybody's just kind of like, "What?"
Especially, Gordon and John.
Yeah, Gordon and John obviously are bringing in their A game when it comes to making fun of it, which is pretty common. So they end up setting course. They end up taking off. And then we get to see Mercer and Kelly in the room now. This is one of many conversations that they have where, of course, he basically says, I'm still in love with you. And she's like, basically what you just said, Dave, the conversation.
You got it wrong. This is one of the many times they have this specific conversation.
Yes. Well, no, that's what I meant. But yeah. But basically, she's like, we need to talk. And he's like, if you want to try it again, I'm in, that kind of thing. Because he's a desperate dude, man.
He's like, I thought it like, do you not remember what happened at the end of the last episode? She kind of was the one who called it off. And he's like, guess what? I've been thinking about it. I think we can do it. Like, why would you think she'd change her mind? It doesn't make any
why
sense.
do you think she's here for that? Yeah. But basically, what's actually happening is she's coming to let him know that she's dating somebody. Blah, 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 which, of course, starts his storyline throughout this entire episode, which is essentially him being jealous.
So basically, I mean, wasn't it 2 episodes ago he was like second guessing himself because Kelly had told him that she helped him get the job as captain?
Yes.
Right. Last episode, he finds out that she loves him and wants to try, but she breaks. Now he's smothering about this. Yeah, he gets a lot of hard knocks.
He's a kicking bag, man. I'm telling you. Yeah. All right. He does it to himself, though. Like
I don't feel bad for him.
I don't feel bad for him either. I think he's one of those people that likes to self-loathe.
The part of this that doesn't make sense to me is like they were married, right? And they were coming up through the ranks together. This must have come up. This idea that they could both be like in a position where one's reporting to the other, and like just like this, a captain, first officer. It was not. I'm sure it was feasible. And did they not talk about it then? Like it doesn't. Like it's just so weird.
Yeah, it is a little stupid, but basically he feels dumb that he came up with the idea of that she's here to talk to him about getting back together. She's like, yeah, no, I'm seeing somebody, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, great. And then she gets all pissy with him. Honestly, I almost zoned out at this point. It was a pretty boring conversation. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, so as they're going, they go to the starbase because they have to pick up I think she's like a dark matter
cartographer.
Cartographer. There you go. So they have to go pick her up. Well, we find out it's a her. But basically, shuttle comes out, goes into the bay, and Alara greets her. What's her name again? The one in the green.
Her fake name?
Yeah. What's her character name? It was on the tip of my tongue and I've lost it.
Is it Taupe? No, not Topa.
No, Topo. Definitely not Topa.
I'll get that. Just
Danielle? Is that her name?
I just remember the last name, and I remember it being a little bit long.
No, that's one of the. I don't know. Like,
yeah, all right, either
Green Lady,
Green Lady,
fake Krill Lady,
fake Krill Lady, which we don't know about yet. All right,
right.
So anyway,
Janelle Tyler.
Janelle, that's right.
Janelle Tyler. Yeah,
Janelle Tyler. Okay, so Janelle comes on board. She meets Mercer as they're walking through, and then she ends up going to the bridge. She meets Kelly. And then she sits down, and obviously Gordon is very fascinated with this woman. He's shooting his shot, and he basically, I didn't even bother to get the screenshots because literally when I got the screenshots, they're all exactly the exact same thing. So it's like
it's just him talking nervously
and pretty stupid chat. I was a little disappointed because I was actually watching Kelly through this scene because she's in the background and she's playing with like a pad, and I was hoping eventually she would like look up and make like a weird like face at him, like, stop being a dink or something.
It'd be hilarious if she's like playing Tetris or something.
That would have been funny. But anyway, so then we go over to Isaac, and I can't remember the little boy's name, but
Ty?
Is it Kai?
Ty?
Ty. Yes. Okay. Ty. And he's teaching him how to play piano. It turns out that he already kind of knows a little bit now at this point because, this is where he's at. But anyway, so we're at that point. Basically, Isaac is going through the sheet music with them, and he's playing pretty good. Claire jumps in, sees the two. She's obviously very happy to see this happening, and she congratulates him. And then the older kid shows up. What's his name now? Marcus. There you go. See, all of you guys know this, and I don't. But anyway, so Marcus shows up with his friend. We'll call him Dillhole. James. Okay, we'll call him James then. Fine, I liked mine better. But anyway, so him and James show up, and he's like, "Yeah, we want to go play the simulator." And she's like, "Is your homework done?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, it totally is." And he's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Show me." And he's like, "Oh no, it's not here. It's at the school." And he's like, "Yeah, go get it."
It's just down the hallway. Go get it.
Yeah, it's just down the hallway. Go get it. And at this point, he knows he's kind of been caught. And then, Claire turns her back for a second, and then Dillhole there says, I can't remember exactly what he says. Something along the lines of like,
"Says your mom's a pain in the ass."
Is your
mom always a pain in the ass?
Yeah, is your mom always a pain in the ass? And Claire hears this, and she's like, "Yeah, you can go away now." Basically, is what she says. She says, "I bet your parents want you home for dinner." So, but anyway, and then Marcus ends up going to his room because he's a dink. I hate that kid. I'm not gonna lie. Anybody like that kid?
No.
No. I don't think we're meant to like him.
Okay, good. All right. The little one's not too bad, but the big one, he's an idiot. But anyway, so Claire kind of breaks down to Isaac and says along the lines of, "I'm a terrible parent. I don't feel like I'm a good parent. Blah blah blah." And Isaac kind of agrees with her, I guess, but he's like, "Thank you for letting me." See
like
this.
that's I always love his responses to like these questions. Like, "Am I a bad mother?" Yes.
Yes, you are.
And they go, "How long did it take you to learn piano, Isaac?" "Approximately 1/1,000,000th of a nanosecond."
Well, he does have an advantage there.
Yes.
But anyway, so he ends up playing a song for Claire. She wants to hear some kind of jazzy music. And then we get to see these kids in what we're told is a non-used suite, I guess, a non-used room. And they're gathered around a machine, which turns out to be the replicator, I guess it is. And Dillhole there is screwing around with the isolinear chips or whatever they call them in this universe. And he's trying to fix it. Well, not fix it. He's trying to, what we find out is take off the safeties on the unit, I guess, because I guess it recognizes who's ordering things and doesn't let them order alcohol.
Right. So they can get booze. This is
how they're getting booze. So anyway, they generic booze. I'm guessing, it's just water in a bottle, but whatever. But you'd think it'd have some sort of label or something on it.
No, I want those kids drunk for authenticity.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Method acting. You can never start too young.
It's true.
They say that acting drunk is one of the hardest things to do as an actor.
It is. Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, I've heard that.
It's because we've all been drunk. We could spot someone who's.
We can spot the fakes.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah. When you're as seasoned as we are, we always know who's faking and who is.
Yeah, that ain't drunk.
That's not drunk.
They're having soft drinks there.
So anyway, they peel out of there, and we don't know where their destination is. They just peel out.
Synthesizer or the simulator, right? Is that where they go?
Eventually we find them in the environmental simulator, or holodeck for short. But anyway, so we get over to the cafeteria area again there, and mess hall, whatever you want to call it. And Gordon and Alara are talking, and again they're trying to talk. He's like, I'm really into this girl, blah blah blah. And she's like, yeah, great. I have absolutely no luck at all. And then Bortus is like, can I join you? And he sits down. And then at that point, there really wasn't anything else of interest, so they talk a little bit. This is the problem that I have with this episode. If I don't have to get a 20 screenshots in a conversation, there's a good chance that conversation was terrible. So
I don't. This is the one where he is this where Bortus tries to get Alara to set up with the date.
Yeah, he basically says,
or I think this is where she's talking about her love life, and eventually he approaches her later on.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes, you're right. You're right.
So this is like the seed of that. So this is like, yeah, but again, it's like, I don't know. They got to get us to this thing so she can go on a date with Dan.
Yeah. Well, basically, it's kind of seen poorly if you don't show up with a date, essentially, to the pissing off the valley of the mountain, I guess, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, at this point, Molloy runs in and he's trying to find the other guy, Lamar. John. There we go. He's trying to find John. He's like, can we talk in private? And we see Dan. Dan shows up again. We get even more of Dan this time. But anyway, so I don't even know who plays Dan, quite honestly.
He's just this comedic actor. You probably not no one you really know, but
oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I don't mind Dan. I especially like Dan in the elevator. Dan in the elevator is the best. But anyway, that was a couple episodes back.
Mike Henry plays Dan.
Oh, no idea who that is. But anyway, so he basically explained to him that, he really doesn't have any, vibe. He doesn't have any, moves or anything like that. Like, he's pretty terrible at this whole picking up girls thing. And, John is seasoned, and actually Alara is the one that said to him.
Does this make sense? I get that John is like the ladies' man. That part I buy. I don't know if I buy so much that Molloy is like this inept with getting a date. He seems like he would not struggle this hard based on whose personality is. But
I don't know. I don't know. I think we're kind of going into stereotypes here a little bit.
Well, he's definitely one of those guys that I think they've portrayed him to be the kind of guy that gets in his own head.
Yeah, it talks himself out.
He's his biggest enemy is himself, I guess. But we also saw John in previous episodes. He's always got a girl with him. He had a girl.
But we need John's help because he dated two heads at the same time, and
they didn't even know.
Found out about each other.
And he's like, I only want to date somebody with one head. He's like, I can help you.
I can help you. So then we go into the classroom where we meet the teacher, who I can't remember his name, but
Cassius.
Is it Cassius or Cassius?
I think it's actually Cassius. Yeah. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't hear you.
Oh,
goody. All right.
What do we do now?
I can keep.
That's what you get for talking about my
There we go.
problem.
I can hear you now. All right, we're good. All right. So there was a little bit of a blurb there. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so we're in the classroom, and this is Cassius.
Cassius. Chris Johnson plays him.
Chris Johnson, who I don't know, but anyway. And we see all the kids, and obviously Dillhole and Marcus are both there. What's Dillhole's real name?
James.
Okay. Well, I'm still calling him Dillhole because he is. But anyway, and he clearly has a very relaxed attitude in the class. And he gets asked a couple questions. Neither one of them know the answer. So they get homework, which is a 1,000-word essay on, I can't remember what the subject was. It was something kind of dumb, but anyway, both of them are kind of assholes. And then we see Kelly in the thing, and both Marcus and Dillhole there both screw up the answer because neither one of them are paying attention or doing their homework. And then obviously that's what happens here. So we end up seeing, the class gets dismissed. Kelly shows up, and we find out that this is the guy that Kelly's been seeing.
Of course he is.
Obviously.
Yeah. Look at this shirt. It's awful. It's like it's sensitive man shirt, and I can't.
He's got great hair, Dave. He's got great hair.
No, No, I'm not. It's not okay. This is I was like Kelly. Well,
Oh.
it's on point with Ed, I guess.
I'm gonna have to reboot, guys. I lost you again.
Okay.
So
I guess, but you can't hear us, so
can you hear me?
yeah.
Somebody wave if you can hear me. All right, they can hear me at least. Okay, so yeah, all right. Well, I'm gonna reboot. So talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
All right.
There he goes. All right. You're taking your screenshots with you. Yeah. There you go.
But we can continue.
We can continue. So, okay, the teacher, Chris Johnson, everything else coming, like, they talk about talking to Ed and, whether or not this is going to be awkward. And this guy can get bent, Cassius. I don't like, I'm not for this love triangle business with Ed and Kelly and some new character. It was fun with Rob Lowe, but I'm not
For sure.
Yeah, mostly boring. Mostly I'm on James's side, and I want him to give this teacher a hard time.
But when Cassius and Ed are talking later in the quarters, they start to get along, and I'm like, wait, is it happening again?
Yeah,
Is Mercer falling in love with Kelly's boyfriend?
why are you writing this episode? Because you could write a better twist to it. Yeah,
But this time it's for real.
This time it's for real. I don't know. I think that'd be way more interesting, but yeah, like that, I don't know. Not very exciting for me in this part. I'm with you. And then what else happens after that? Cassius and Kelly have a date in his quarters after that until they that's when they see Ed spying on them with the shuttle.
Yeah, he does the flyby.
It's a flyby. It's you do it. You do it. Is this normal behavior? I don't know. But
It is
Kelly,
not.
it doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like something that would go. But then they have the date. They see Ed spying on them, so they run out. They eventually go to the simulator where they run into Marcus and James and some other kid, drunk on that vodka. They're going hard, guys. So then Claire is mad at Marcus. She's yelling at him in the quarters. Isaac's present for some reason. And then she says, I'm starting to think I suck at this parenting thing. And Isaac says, yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Indeed, you do.
The only jokes I liked in this whole thing were Isaac.
Yeah,
Just telling her she's a bad mom. It's the same joke twice. I laugh both times.
I know, me too. And when I retell it, I laugh. It's because I don't know. I have empathy for her.
No
But
kidding.
yeah, it's just kind of how it's going here. Then we get to the scene with John and Gordon where they have to get him like too many zippers on
This
his
was
jacket.
boring. I gotta tell you, I didn't.
So boring.
Yeah.
So boring. I'm with you. It was boring. I was tuning out largely.
You can't have more. What was it? We'll get you another zipper. Like it was just.
Is that funny?
Yeah, right. I was like, where are the jokes in this show? I thought this show was funny.
Yeah.
We got zipper jacket.
Oh, we need more zippers. This is what you took 12 months to come up with? Okay. And then
I can hear you guys now. Can you hear me?
yes.
Yep.
Excellent. All right.
We had just got into talking about John and Gordon with all the zippers in their jacket and that crap.
All right.
So.
All right. So sorry about that, guys. All right. It sounds like we're working better now. Okay.
So we're beyond all this.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about the flyby. Yeah, yeah. Him looking at old photos of the picnic, whatever, and then this is where Ed's spying on them through the window. We agree that this is wrong, and then they find the kids in the synthesizer. We're talking about all this with Isaac, and then Isaac telling them, "You are a bad mind," whatever, which we thought was funny.
All right.
That's
so we're
where
at
we're
the
at.
jacket here.
Yeah.
All right.
More zippers, which we all agree was kind of boring.
I agree as well.
They're not really. Where are the jokes?
There was none here. As far as I can
And
find.
these two, like, this is supposed to be the funny part.
Yeah.
Well,
These are the
these
two-
guys are the funny in the show.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Right.
like, you would think there would be a lot more, and the only joke we got was, go one more zipper than you're comfortable with, which wasn't even really a joke. So
Yeah, it didn't work.
What can you do? But anyway, we get back in the mess hall now. We got Alara, and she's looking through her thing, and she's, I guess, waiting for her date to show up, or the person who she's going to meet to become the date. And Dan shows up. All right, because good old Dan with his big, huge noggin, which comes up in the conversation, actually, because he's like, oh, she kind of rejects him in a way. And then he's like, it's my head, isn't it? It's head's pretty big.
I'd be jazzed. Like, I like Dan. I'd hang out with Dan. I
Dan
don't know
seems
why
cool.
everybody seems to hate Dan.
Dan seems cool. I don't know why people were shitting on Dan. Like, yeah, he does have a big melon. Like, buying hats for him must
Okay,
be
wait. Just when they go on the real date, let's think about the creep factor here.
When,
Okay.
the poems.
Yes,
I
of
miss
course.
you.
I'd hang out with Dan as a friend. Okay, I get it that you're not going to want him as a stalker. But
I miss you, Kevin. I miss you.
As a friend, yes. As a stalker, no.
I think tomorrow I'm going to write some terrible poetry.
I want one of those hot stalkers, They make a movie of.
Yeah, give me one of those crazy bitch stalkers. I want one of them.
I want like a swim fan or something, Like,
yeah.
baby reindeer.
That was funny, actually. That scene where they were describing what's his name's only girlfriend, that she was stalking him.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Oh yeah. And then she broke up with him
So his stalker broke up with
because
him.
he was too clingy.
He was too clingy.
Dan said that members of his species have a hard time getting dates from their outside their planet. I guess they're not exactly the most attractive species. I guess, but
well, he does look basically like a nutsack.
He looks like a upside down nutsack head.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So, which is probably intentional.
Anyway, here we go, where Kelly confronts Mercer on the fact that he did a drive-by. And he's like, "Oh no, that wasn't me. That's Malloy, and he's putting my name in the log." And,
this is our joke where we sign out a shuttle in each other's names.
Like
and
this
was
whole
stupid.
scene was stupid.
This was no good.
Yeah, it was. This was Family Guy writing right here. That's what this is.
Is that what this was?
Oh yeah, where the joke just goes on far too long. Yeah. And you're just sitting there, and it gets to the point where it's awkward. But
not
anyway,
funny.
No, it was not funny. I agree. So anyway, she gets kind of pissed off at him. I don't even remember what the outcome of this thing is because no one cares. But she
basically just storms off. I don't think they resolve it really.
They don't resolve anything. Yeah. So anyway, and this is when Claire now meets the the parents of Dillweed, or Dillhole, actually. Excuse me. I got them mixed up. But anyway, and they basically have the conversation of my kid's perfect, so obviously your kid was the problem. Personally, I think this was a racist thing. They see the black kid and they're like, the black kid is what did the wrong. I think that's what this is. So
is that
Claire should have just like slapped
that hadn't
him.
occurred to me at all that this was anything.
I think they should have slapped him.
I think they were just more like our kids. Like this is an old story. Like our kids.
Yeah. Our kids are the best. Every parent thinks their kids are great at one point, and then they realize
until we realize they're not.
They are fallible just like we are, and they do stupid shit too. So hell, I'm in my 40s and I still do stupid shit. So there you go. But anyway, and Claire gets really pissy about this, which you would think she'd be a little bit more professional, especially in the environment that she's in right now. I can understand, in the mess hall maybe acting this way, but in your office, in the sick bay, and on top of that, why are they even having this meeting here? This doesn't make any sense. But anyway, obviously there could be somebody dying, and she's useless right now because she's too busy being pissed off about her kid. But anyway, so basically the blame game goes to Marcus, even though Marcus is an idiot. He wasn't the idiot in this scenario, at least on the one part. And it turns out that, well, I guess we figure out later that it wasn't, but that we also already knew because we saw the scene happen. But anyway, these two parents are kind of aggravating, and I wanted to throw them through a wall. All right. So anyway, we go to Kelly now, who is now in her quarters, and she's obviously off duty at this point.
I don't like this jacket.
She's in his quarters, actually.
Yeah,
Oh,
this,
his
this,
quarters. Yeah.
This
that's
top is not working. Like it's the arms or something with the
I'm
Didn't
not
you
sure
see,
what the design idea was here.
no, but
It almost is like, give me pajamas with a cape.
it's kind of like a cape jacket thingy. I don't know. I don't really get it.
Yeah, but anyway, so he basically he's actually kind of on Mercer's side. He's like, I've been there. This is kind of heartbreaking.
I stalked my ex.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. That's literally what the conversation ended up being. I stalked
And
my
then
ex.
he made the big mistake. Calm down.
Yeah,
Don't tell Kelly to calm down.
Don't
She's
tell any
calm.
woman to calm down. That is literally like the worst thing in the world.
Why is that the worst thing in the world?
I don't know. Try it with
Have you
your
ever said
wife
that
and
to
see
your
what
wife?
happens.
Well, I just don't understand why it triggers them. Because if are they allowed to tell us to calm down?
Oh
Well,
yeah.
think about how you react when someone tells you to calm down.
I get so calm.
Yeah, no,
No,
exactly
you
the
don't.
same way. It's not a woman thing.
Just a person
Everybody
thing?
hates it.
Okay.
Everybody fucking hates it.
Kevin, calm down. Kevin,
Calm down, Kevin.
Calm down, Kevin.
We can't handle you
Don't
right
tell
now.
me to calm down.
So anyway, these two end up going to the holodeck because Lamar has a program that he wants to use to kind of help Gordon pick up what is going on with this coat.
It's a lot of zippers. 1, 2, 3, 6.
Oh, just
That's,
one too
that's
many.
12 just there.
That's
And then there's
already a
more.
better joke than the regular jokes in the show.
Yeah,
true.
It's worse than Kelly's thing from the previous.
So this is basically a pickup simulator. So he's set a girl there, and I like how he forgot to set the level. So like this girl was literally like, "Hi, my name's so and so. Want to go back to my place?"
Yeah, it's on
Wow,
level
this
1.
is easy.
I liked when he described when you go to level 8, she'll have a gun or something. And
Yeah,
like,
when you go to level
A
8,
boyfriend and a gun.
a boyfriend and a gun.
and a
Yeah.
And what's level 10? She's married. No, it's level 10 is she's married and has a gun.
That's right.
She's married, that's good. Yeah, there you go.
But John could still get her.
Well,
he's that
John
good.
probably has gone through all the levels. He's pretty smooth. But anyway, so he tries to pick up this blonde. She ends up saying, "Okay, no problem." And then we figure out that it's on level 1. So then he turns it on to what, level 6 or something like that? 7? No, this is 7. Yeah. So this is level 7, and it's a girl who is very, very pissed off at the world.
And she's slaying too, so she can kick his ass.
Yeah, she looks like she's slaying for sure. So there you go. We don't see the ears, but she's got she's got the little ridges. Oh, do we see the ears?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a little peeking out there. Yeah. But anyway, so he's trying to pick her up. He was not doing too well at the beginning there, but he ended up getting to the point where she was willing to have a drink with him.
That's because he lied.
He lied.
Yep. Well,
I'm dying.
He's dying. He's only got like 6 months to live. This might be the last time he's ever in a bar. Like it's terrible. And she's like, "Yeah, okay, I don't want to feel too bad about this." And he's like, "Right on, I'm good." So the key here is that the takeaway home, kids, is make sure you lie to women when you're trying to pick them up.
Well, I think John's point was he had to be relaxed. He had to sort of just,
true enough.
Nah.
Yeah.
I think there may have been a better way to make that point.
Probably. Yeah. But anyway, it's also a comedy show. So what do you want? Well, I haven't seen a lot of comedy, but there is a comedy show in here somewhere. But anyway, so we get to see Isaac. Isaac is, doing whatever chores he's normally doing. And Claire gets the idea of inviting him to the parent-teacher conference with the other set because 2 is better than 1 kind of thing. So Isaac eventually agrees, and then we end up going over to Alara. This is Muska's. This is one of the bars in the show.
This is the Will Sasso scene.
This is the Will Sasso. That's Will Sasso there.
Okay.
Which there's Will Sasso as well.
He looks like a big ogre or something.
He looks like Dirty Shrek.
Dirty Shrek, yeah.
Dirty Shrek, yeah. But anyway, and he's like, "Oh, did you get stand up?" And she's like, "Oh, no, I just came early," and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, "Well, you want me to get you a drink?" Blah, blah, blah. And then Dan shows up, and he throws out the finger guns, which, let's be honest, there hasn't been a person in the world who isn't cool that doesn't do the finger guns.
I love the finger guns. I'm always,
This date is on when you see that.
This date is on. So anyway, and she looks like she's okay with him at the beginning, and then like she starts getting kind of creeped out with him, especially when he brings out the poetry.
He's like,
she's
"Be
got the
honest
fake
about my
smile on.
poetry," and then
I
she
can't
tells
grow,
him.
Dave. I can't grow.
Yeah,
I can't grow
he
as an artist.
grow. Yeah, can't grow as an artist unless you're, if you're gonna tell me the truth. And she's like, okay, I'll tell you the truth. It was not good. And this is where Dan gets kind of,
I said, "Be honest. Don't rip out my soul."
yeah, don't rip out my soul. So then anyway, she excuses herself to go to the bathroom. She ends up kind of having like a quasi panic attack in a way, out in the corridor here. And then she gets this text, "I miss you," which I thought was great. That was good.
Yeah, that was.
I was happy with that. I also like the fact that like he's got like a crazy look on his face, even in the picture for his like his communicator. So anyway, we see Ed again, and Ed is now, I think he's at the quarters of the teacher, right? Yeah,
Cassius.
Yeah. So he
Yeah.
comes into Cassius, and he's like, I kind of owe you an apology. I'm kind of being a dick here. And he's like, no, I get it. I've been there, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, do you love her? And he's like, yeah, I do. And he's like, all right. And he's like, basically he's trying to be the better man, I guess, is the easiest way to look at this. I don't remember why I grabbed that screenshot, but there was probably a reason for it.
I think that's when
he's telling him why she walked out. And
you didn't say calm down, did you?
You didn't say calm down to her, did you?
and then he tells him how to like patch it up, basically what he needs to do.
Yeah, put on what, Foreigner or Journey or something?
Journey.
Yeah, Journey, yeah. Put on Journey, get a good Cabernet, and make some dinner or something. But anyway, so he's like, yeah, all right. So anyway, we go over to the teacher conference thing, which basically, they're going through what happened here kind of thing, and everybody's blaming Marcus, and they ask, Isaac ends up kind of taking over the conversation. He's like, what were his grades? And oh well, he's an A person, blah blah blah. And then Isaac looks at the record, finds out that it's been modified, and it's been modified by the mom. So obviously the kid stole her credentials and is using them. And then we find out that what's his name is like a B student at best, and it wasn't changed at all. So basically that concludes that obviously the one kid is the evil genius mastermind here.
Well, sure, it does. It actually isn't conclusive
Lost
evidence,
Kevin.
but it definitely does.
I love her face though, the mother's face when they were leaving the room and the dad's just trailing after her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. We got Kevin back. He got a case of whatever I had. Can we hear you, Kevin?
Yep.
All right. So anyway, so we end up, there we go. So basically, they figure out that based on this evidence, obviously Dillhole is the problem.
Cassius' shirt is even worse in this scene. Look at that.
That is very Wesley.
That's a Wesley Crusher would be caught dead wearing that. That is
No, I don't
It's
think
way
Wesley
too low
would.
cut. It's way too low cut.
It is
Yeah.
low cut, yeah. And it's
It'd
also
be
like,
way more turtleneck.
I don't think it was made for a man of his size,
it.
because like that cuff is like double the width of his easily.
It's interesting to have such a deep V, but also have the same amount of material around the neck as a turtleneck.
Right.
Like
and all these
it's
Oh yeah,
very
it's really
weird.
thick in there, yeah.
Is that a glass apple on this counter there? It looks like it is.
Yeah, something like that, I think. Yeah.
I think it is,
Actually, I
yeah.
think you are right. Yeah. It
Could
looks
be,
like it.
yeah.
It's got a little bit of a stem there by the looks of it.
with teacher's pepper on that.
Yeah, but anyway, this is what you were talking about, where you just see like the husband is just like kind of like following really quickly with the storming out of his
So,
wife.
like, so much for my nice calm evening, right?
Yeah, he's like, thanks. Now
Well,
I get
like,
to go home and hear her bitch about it. Then I'm gonna say calm down, and then she's gonna be on my ass about it. Yeah, but anyway.
The other thing I was thinking about was like, there's like 300 people on this ship or so, and like I guess there's a lot of people who don't know each other, but like 300 people is not that many. Like, how many people work in your office, Adam?
A couple hundred. I don't know. I don't know them all.
You don't know them all, so you would, or their kids, for that
Definitely
matter.
not. But we don't
Yeah.
live together either. So
Right.
That would make sense.
Not yet.
But anyway, so Claire, this is where Claire kind of is the turncoat and basically says, oh, Isaac, I really appreciate your help, blah, blah, blah. That was
I
awesome.
love you, Isaac.
She's
love you,
falling
Isaac.
for him. She's like, he is daddy for the kids now.
Yeah, somehow I missed the first screenshot with Gordon coming in, but basically Gordon walks in to go talk to the girl, Janelle. Is it Janelle? Danielle? Janelle?
Janelle.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, he walks over to Janelle and then literally walks right past her and walks out.
That was good.
He's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. Which I don't blame him because let's be honest, she's going to laugh at that jacket. Oh my God, there's zippers on the back too.
Yeah. So there's 12 on the front, right? And we have another, 3?
Looks like 8 on the back. Yeah.
Can't have too many zippers.
That's
what are you
20
gonna
zippers,
put in them,
man? Well, they probably
Nothing.
don't
They're not
open.
pockets. They're just zippers.
They're just zippers.
No, this is no good. Get out of here.
Did you
It
never
says
have
no
one
good.
of those zipper jackets?
No,
I don't
I had
believe
one of
it
the
is
Michael
zipper.
Jackson
He's
zipper
too-
jackets.
He's too young for
They
that.
are not pockets. They are
Dave,
just
it was
zippers.
the 80s.
That's
We
like
had
the
no
Michael
choice.
Jackson. No, I'm too young for the Michael Jackson type jacket or
The
anything.
nylons.
Oh, I had it. I
Michael
had one.
Jackson.
You had one? Oh wow.
Did you have the Thriller one, Kevin?
There might be a picture of
The
me
red
in
one.
the Thriller jacket.
Not the
somewhere.
Thriller one. No,
I had the Thriller one, but it wasn't mine. It was actually my cousin's. But
from Beat. I think he wears it in Beat It. It's the red jacket with all the zippers on it.
oh yeah, okay, yeah, it is Beat It. I think you're right. But anyway, we see the shuttle. The shuttle's now going down to Moklis. They've made it there, which Moklis, as we've seen before, is a very
Polluted planet.
polluted, nasty planet by the looks of it. So anyway, we see him, and he's here on this nice ledge type situation here, and we see all the people gathered behind them. So my question to you is this: we were told earlier in this episode, it's kind of seen badly if you don't bring somebody with you. Who's with who here?
Well, Gordon and the captain are together.
Okay, that's fine. Who's Isaac with?
Claire.
Claire.
Well, he's not standing with her.
No.
And then we have the doctor. We have the doctor and Alara there. So is Alara with John then, or is John with Isaac? Maybe.
No,
I don't
Isaac's
know.
with Claire.
All right, this is just too much. You know what? I wanted more authenticity in this. I wanted.
Who's with? I guess Clyden's with Bortus. Here.
Clyden's there. Yeah, he's in the background there. But anyway, so we see him, and he does this like little bit of a chant, and then he says some words, and then you see him basically throw his pants down. But that's all you see. I would have liked a little bit of a gag here where the wind picks up or something just like, oh, you got it on my shoe or something like that. That would have been fun.
Well, my thing is like, when is it going to be Clyden's turn to pee? Like how are they going to come back? Like,
well, they have to come back every time, yeah, and they only pee every 7 years or something.
Every year, once a year.
Oh, is it once
Every
a year?
year.
Okay,
Once a year.
Okay,
But
so
it's not the same time, I guess.
So they have 3 people in their family unit then.
Right.
So all 3 of them are going to have to come back once a year.
Right.
So they're going to have to go to Moklis at least 3 times a year.
Unless they can try to sync these up. Like, let's have a group birthday, everybody.
Well, maybe they do sync up eventually. Maybe.
Sometimes in the office we would do that. We're like, okay, we're gonna celebrate everybody's birthday for the month.
And we have some other Moklins in the
Oh,
background.
I thought you were gonna say we're all going to the bathroom at the same time in the office.
No.
We're gonna sync up.
We're gonna all sing. Well, someone tried that once with me, but I was like, no.
I got it. I got an office urinal story, but I'm gonna save that for when we're off air. But it annoyed me. Everybody knows the rule of them, right? Like if there's 4 available,
Yeah, get
which
as
ones do
close
you
to
take?
the person next to you as possible, right?
No.
That's the rule?
It's the opposite
And
of that.
have a conversation.
There should be a one stall buffer in between you and somebody else.
And no talking.
And no talking. Yeah. No one wants to talk while they're taking a
Lots of eye contact, lots of talking,
and look down every so often.
Yeah.
Go, wow, that's
lots
nice.
of head movements.
So anyway, basically he throws his pants down and pisses in the wind, I guess is the easiest way to explain that. And then they basically go back to the ship for a what do you call it, reception, I guess. We get to see the weird-eyed alien guy again, which I like. I think they did a good job with him. And we, the different Mocklins are around as well as, of course, the two. And then they're like, how did you enjoy the ceremony? And she's like, oh, it was great. And then I can't remember what else happens here. The teacher says something, but I don't remember what it was. Couldn't have been that important.
No.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not totally sure what's going on here, but I took the screenshot for some strange reason. But anyway, we get to see Dan and Gordon, and they're both kind of sitting there chatting it up. And he's telling him the poem that he wrote for Alora. And, Gordon's just fascinated by it. He's like, I think he's in love with Dan. Like, he's getting that.
He loves the poetry.
He does love the poetry for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically, Claire comes up to Isaac again. I can't thank you enough for, helping us out. We really appreciate it. And then we're back to Mercer drinking again. So with Jason Alexander,
he gets a visit.
He does. So he gets somebody to sit down beside him. Turns out it's Janelle. Fuck, man, I'm terrible. But anyway, why do I even host this? But anyway, so she sits down, has a drink, and then you see the two of them kind of chatting a bit. So there's something going to be happening in the next episode with these two. And that is the end of the episode. So there you go. So let's just get rid of this. There we go. All right. So what do you guys think? Anything of interest? Have we changed at all since we talked last? At the beginning of the episode.
Maybe you will after some facts here.
Well, we definitely do have facts. The question is, are they fun facts?
Yes,
facts with Adam.
All right, let's go. So actor Scott Grimes reflected that it was very difficult to shoot the scenes discussing Bortus's geologia and not break out into laughter. At the end of the episode, when we watch him pee, it took everything in our power to get through that. It's a serious moment, and when he's having geologia, he's peeing in front of us. But what you didn't get to see, because they edited it out, this is what we should have seen, Jody.
Oh, tell me that somebody got pissed on.
Was that he continues and actually hearing pee.
See, now that would have been all right.
Bortus just went to town and made all these pee noises. Imagine how good it would feel after a year. It was hilarious, and we didn't keep a straight face at all. Seth laughs at everything.
Yeah, they should have did the Austin Powers thing where like you just hear the stream and it just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
Dude holds it for a year, so it's like, yeah, all right.
According to Peter Macon, I guess, the full urination scene was about 28 seconds with Bortus loudly groaning in satisfaction. An alternate.
Why didn't they put that in there?
I agree. An alternate take on the scene had Bortus peeing first and then quietly moaning geologia.
Oh,
that
would have been
great.
way better too.
Yeah,
they could have just took the.
So they just picked the worst one.
Yeah, like maybe it's a censors thing. I don't know.
So in post-production, McFarlane unilaterally removed the sound because he felt its humor made the Mocklin species appear silly.
They are.
That's what.
But they're goofy to us. That's the whole point.
I know that they had this other dark side and about.
Well, they definitely have a dark side.
Right. He was worried about somebody on the show seeming goofy. Are you fucking kidding?
On this show?
Has he seen the show he's written?
Yeah, really.
Everybody's goofy.
We got to make these Mocklins people take them seriously.
They got to be the serious people. Yeah. Only humans can be goofy.
Yeah. So other things in this show, according to Scott, we already talked about that one. Outtakes, no, we're not going to do that one. Okay. Executive producer David Goodman has said, I think our characters are more flawed than the next gen characters. They're still jealous. They still get pissed off. One of my favorite scenes is where Ed steals the shuttlecraft and spies on Kelly with her new boyfriend, which was Seth's idea. To me, that's great. The captain of the ship borrowing a shuttlecraft to spy on his ex-wife while she's making it with her boyfriend. That's something you'd never see Captain Picard do.
I'd see Riker do it, though.
Yeah, Riker would do it. He would do it over Troy for sure.
Yeah.
Actors Grimes and Adrian Palicki got engaged the day after this episode aired.
To each other?
Yes, and married, and then they got divorced.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I do remember that now.
While Ed and Alara share their problems with relationships, the respective actors, Seth MacFarlane and Halston Sage, actually had dated each other. there's all kinds of stuff going on here.
I'm always fascinated by these like celebrity relationships, especially if they're really fast. Like they get together, they get married, and then they're broken up like a month later. Those are always the ones that fascinate me the most because I'm like there was something had to happen. What happened at dinner one night? You know,
I'm guessing Rob Lowe.
Yeah, I'm guessing Rob Lowe because the famous one I always think about is like Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson, who were married for like 10 seconds and then they split up, right? Yeah. And I guess the other one would be this. So
McFarlane confirmed that the central conceit of Jodolja was a nod to Theodore Sturgeon, writer of episode Amok Time in Star Trek the original series. In Amok Time, Spock must return to his homeworld, Vulcan, for Pon Farr, the rare act of procreation.
Yeah, but that episode was about Spock. This wasn't about Bortus at all.
Yeah, you barely saw Bortus.
Yeah. A couple more here. Lara calls Bortus a yenta. A yenta is defined as a person, especially a woman who's considered to be meddlesome and gossipy.
Okay.
And the photos of Captain Mercer, views of him and Kelly at the picnic earlier. You had those up, Jody, earlier.
Yeah.
Strongly resemble photos of Captain Pike and Vina picnicking in the original Star Trek pilot, The Cage.
Is that what they were going for?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because they were on like an excursion kind of thing as well.
Dave, for you here, a separate science division badge is introduced, a green atomic symbol.
I noticed that.
Did you? Really?
I did.
Okay.
That was details.
I didn't want to bring it up because I thought you guys might groan like you were peeing in the wind. But, you know, okay. I thought, hey, I got to.
And I'll wrap it here. Michaela McManus is introduced as Lieutenant Janelle Tyler. Lieutenant Tyler is later revealed as a Krill spy, since Dave already brought that up. In the first season of Star Trek Discovery, first season of Star Trek Discovery, a rival of the Orville, Shazad Latif stars as both Lieutenant Ash Tyler and the Klingon named Vok, who turned out to have a bizarre connection to each other. McManus is uncredited here to avoid spilling the reveal of her identity. She played the Krill Telea.
Wait, so can we go back? Seth MacFarlane was dating Halston Sage?
Apparently.
But isn't he married or is Seth MacFarlane single?
The respective actors, Seth MacFarlane and Halston Sage, had recently dated each other. So this is back, I guess, in
Halston Sage is Alara, isn't it?
Yeah, Laura.
Yeah.
Well, I don't blame him. She's a good-looking girl. But, yeah. They seem to have an age difference, though.
They'd be twice her age, almost.
Yeah.
Not that that's for me to worry about, but he is not married, nor does he have any children. Okay, has he ever been? He's never been married, I guess. Oh, that's weird. I just would.
It's because he keeps getting cheated on.
One more piece here. Yeah. The song, as time goes by, they keep playing, was also a nod towards Casablanca. And if you remember the character Rick, played by Humphrey Bogart, he was all depressed and anxious and, you know, very upset after in that episode because he was dumped by a woman as well.
How much do you think there's a correlation to her leaving the show and the fact that they dated? Or is that not related?
I don't actually think that's officially what they said, but
I didn't even know until tonight. So there you go.
Yeah, I didn't know either. So.
Fun facts is also for me.
It's also for Adam.
All right, great.
You got the score sheet there, Jody?
Yeah, actually, I think I do.
Right.
Do I have it? Yes, I do. There we go. Yeah, let's bring her up. All right. Whoa, that's pretty small. All right, let's try this. Where is that damn? How come I can't make it bigger?
Because you got to scroll. I don't know.
What's that?
There you go.
You can hold down Control and then zoom in with your mouse wheel.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Unless you're in a weird Linux thing or something.
Maybe I might be. All right, but anyway.
Right. Did you just learn about Linux or something, Dave?
No, but he's been on my ass about it for like the last month and a half.
Anytime Jody has technical issues, I'm going to say, I don't know. Your
must have been Linux.
Must have been your Linux. I don't know.
Must be your Linux causing problems.
Or you're always going on about like your whatever phone you have. I don't even know what you have. So
I go on about my phone.
Well, you don't like iPhones,
I don't like iPhones now.
so whatever you got is better, supposedly.
Well, it's better for me. I don't think it's better for anybody else, but anyway. All right, Adam, will we have you? What was your score for last week?
I'm going to go with 7.5 for last week.
7.5. You know what? The smart people go 7.5. I'm just letting you know now.
Oh, look at you! Yeah.
That was the right answer. And speaking of today, what do you go with today, Adam?
Joloja. I'm going to go with 8.5. I like this episode.
8.5. Wow. Not sure I'm going to go that high. Dave.
I will not be. This is a 5.5.
Wow.
5.5. I don't know if I'm going that low either. Kevin. Kevin's going low. I already know Kevin's going low. The question is, how low will he go?
Like a 2. I don't want to give it a 0, even though like it's a 2 because I started daydreaming a better episode halfway through, and at least that was entertaining.
And your episode in your head was better.
I want those rewrites.
I want Kevin to redo that.
That's so awesome. I love it.
That is
My episode was a 2.
You know what? I liked last week's episode better.
The episode wasn't great, but it was better than what I was watching for sure.
I'm gonna go 6.0. So then that puts us at a 5.5 average. Wow.
Yeah, it's not our lowest
rating.
rating.
IMDb is 7.1, so our combined average is 6.3.
This was this episode had a lot of viewers actually when it was aired, and
Yeah, I think it does a disservice to the show coming in kind of with like a forgettable premiere. You know, like I think it's just kind
Well, I think that this shouldn't have been a premiere episode. I completely agree with you, Dave. Like to me, it just feels like it was an episode that should have been in the last season,
in the middle of the season too,
or in the middle of a season.
Like it's not so much that they did it; it's just like it's the fact that they're starting the season off like this. I don't mind them setting up the Krill infiltrator in this episode, but the rest of it could go. Like, you know, like I like the Isaac and Claire relationship, but I guess, you know, so there's little pieces here. There's a few jokes I like, but overall this episode is completely skippable for me.
Yeah, I agree. It is what it is. You know, it's not a good first episode for a season. I'm stuck on that really. To me, it just doesn't make any sense.
What comes next, Jody? There's got to be something.
Well, the good news is, Dave, the end is not near. So next episode is called Primal Urges, and it's the crew race to save a small group of survivors on a planet about to be destroyed by its sun.
Okay.
And I remember there's a guest star on this one, I think, which is actually pretty good, but I can't remember who it was. I'm just looking through the listing now to see if I can see who it was. Oh, maybe I'm not. No, I might not be on the right episode, come to think of it.
It has to do with Clyden. I don't really remember the episode too much.
Yeah, Bortus's fellow officers are puzzled why he's so distant, even uninterested in the rare observation of a planet about to be swallowed by its exploding sun.
This is the one with the weird Bortus erotic sex holodeck program that they walk in on.
Oh my God, it is. You're right.
They're all like these like sexy half naked Mocklins running around.
Yeah, that's what this is. Yeah, you're right.
So,
it might be funny at least.
I think it'll be funny.
But anyway, the good news is, Dave, this isn't the only show that we review. So even when we have a bad show, there might be a good show just around the corner.
Or another bad show.
Or another bad show, depending on how you feel about tomorrow's episode of Next Gen.
So tomorrow, every Tuesday night, we continue our rewatches of Star Trek The Next Generation. Still in the first season here. Tomorrow's episode is, it's a numbered episode, 11001001, also known as the Binar episode or the Minuet episode. And we'll be breaking that all down here on Live Along a Podcast Tuesday night. I'll be with Adam, Jody, and Jane, my wife. Who I just
so we didn't invite Kevin. So Kevin, you stay home.
Yeah, you stay home.
This is the Minuet episode.
This is the Minuet episode.
This is when,
Sure.
Oh boy,
I hate the
first
Minuet
one.
episode.
Do you not like it?
I don't like Minuet as the character at all.
I forgot all about Minuet.
I fucking hate the whole Riker Minuet thing.
I love this episode. Okay, but hey,
I like the Binars idea though.
I think Minuet's the most interesting part. That's the woman from Law and Order. What's her name? Like Elizabeth McCormick or something. She was like always on Law and Order as like the psychiatrist.
Great.
It's been a long time since I've seen Law and
You're
Order.
not watching Law and Order? Come on.
I've
never watched Law and Order.
Hang 'em high, McCoy. Yeah. Anyway,
no idea.
Been a while.
Watch it tomorrow.
It's just words now, Dave.
Words.
Yeah,
you're just gibberish.
Speaking gibberish. But anyway, and we have, of course, some other shows which we'll show on our.
So this year we've already covered a bunch of shows like Prodigy and Discovery, and soon I think Lower Decks and the new season of Strange New Worlds are coming around.
Final season of Lower Decks is coming up. Right?
Yeah, I know we got this Section 31 movie coming out. I think in February. This it's more of like a made-for-TV movie than a movie, but. Yeah.
It's a streaming service movie.
Yeah. Right. So lots of new. Check out all our new content here. We also have our trivia sessions, and all kinds of fun activities here on the channel. So make sure to check those out.
Indeed. All right. Well, unless we have anything else, anybody got any final words on this before we let this?
Jaloja.
All right. Anyway, live long and podcast, everybody.
See you next time.
All right. Take care.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Tune in to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And while you're at it, spin a few records with Eamon on Track. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.